What's up, Mad Rich Gang? Today we talking about one of my favorite subjects since it's the 1st of June. We're gonna talk about top 5 or 6 June baits. Y'all stay tuned. So when we talk about baits for the month of June, we're talking about it's getting hotter outside if it ain't already hot. We're talking about different patterns. You may have some rain, you may have a full moon, you have things in nature as far as you've had spawn season where the bass have either moved up and they've already did their spawn and now they're moving and now they've moved completely out. You've had bluegill come in behind them and either they have done their spawn or is about to do their spawn and have already moved out. And then you have a lovely thing this time of year called a shad spawn. And during that shad spawn, you get some of the craziest things that you will ever see on the water. I was on the water about 2 days ago, and you would have sworn that literally in every sense of the word, there were sharks swimming in the water. And we're talking about in Memphis, Tennessee, you know, everyday freshwater pond that's just been there. And that's because the wakes on the water and everything from fish moving back and forth was so intense. It was like they were just under the surface. You couldn't see them, but they were out 40 feet out from the bank and they were just moving back and forth, and they were some massive blow-ups. So I thought it'd be a great time, since it is the 1st of June, we go over what I like to call my top 5 baits for the month of June. And this is in no particular order, so do keep that in mind. So we're gonna start off with one of my personal favorites, and one of my personal favorite ones would in turns be a spinnerbait. Now this particular one is made by Booyah. This is the Tucks and Tail, I think. Yep, it's Tucks and Tail. Actually has a longer skirt and everything. This one does have the dual Colorado blades on it, which is also another great thing I like, because it gives it that more of that thump, that vibration. You get this out somewhere between 20 to 30 some feet away from the bank, and you slow roll it back to you, this thing thumps and it puts off a mean vibration. So one of my favorite baits to throw at this time of the year. Another one, which I don't have one that's not tied on, honestly, is a Strike King Premier Series. The one thing I love about the Premier Series is it does also have the longer skirt. It has the bigger willow blade and it has the one smaller Colorado blade. But what it also has, it has what I like to call that stinger hook, where it actually has another hook attached to your main hook. So when you get those finicky bass that run up and quickly swipe at it, 9 times out of 10, they usually hit that stinger hook more than they hit the main hook. So great bait. So I'm gonna start off with the spinner bait. I fished a spinner bait, what was it? I think it was 2 years ago. I started in January fishing it when it was still cold outside. And I literally, that whole entire year, I never took the spinner bait off. I think I fished the spinner bait for an entire whole year. And it was just because that year, for some reason, every pond I went to, they were destroying a spinner bait. So yeah, spinnerbait's definitely a good one this time of the month. Then we move into, I guess you could say, my second favorite, which is topwater. And so far this year, I've been very surprised that I've actually caught several fish on topwater. Still haven't caught one on a frog yet. I'm waiting, and I'm gonna get one. But when I mention topwater, that does mean a frog, especially if you got lily pads, you got grass vegetation on the water, you can see it. Throw this up next to it, pop it a couple times. If they're under that grass mat or they're in that grass mat or they're feeding up, they will hit a frog. I would say try to go with something natural or greenish, but also at the same time, being that sometimes they're chasing shad and that thing, I would say get one that's a shad color. You then have always Whopper Plopper. This is actually Six Senses version of it. River to Sea is my absolute favorite whopper plopper. Bass Pro Shop makes one that is actually a little bit, as far as the body goes, it's more robust of a body, and the chop on the blade is crazy, so it puts out super crazy vibration and noise. So I like that one too. But so far, it's been, for me, it's been all about the buzzbait. I've caught more fish on a buzzbait this year than I've ever caught. My buddy Will the Reel will tell you that if you are a buzzbait fisherman and you ever want to fish a buzzbait, if you have a car with an antenna on it, you want to tie that buzzbait to your antenna for about a week and just drive around wherever you go with that buzzbait on there until it gets that right noise. I didn't do that with this one. I have done it with several other ones, and yes, he is right. That noise that you get from this blade actually does change, and oh my god, it does do something to the fish. So top water is my second bait. Preferably in my case, it's going to be a buzzbait. Which moves us right into number 3. Number 3, since I mentioned Will the Reel, is his favorite bait around this time of the year. And we're going to talk about several different variations of his favorite bait. So his main favorite bait, and this is not the color that he loves to throw, but because it's June, I figured no better time than to throw June bug. That is a trick worm. Now, when I say trick worm, I don't just mean just a trick worm, but I mean I'm talking about all kinds of worms. You could do wacky worms, you can do Texas worms, you can do swim speed worms, you can do small ones from where they're the trick worm size, which Will likes to throw this on a shaky head. Favorite thing. I won't tell you his favorite color, but it's one that Zoom makes. So another worm you could use if you're doing it Texas rig style, which a lot of people like to throw Texas rigs around this year, that is the speed worm. This is a Magnum UV speed worm by Zoom. This is watermelon candy. This thing is about, I'd say probably about 7 inches, 8 inches. So this puppy's long, gets out there, throw it on Texas rig, swim it back to you. It gives you that kick. Because as of right now, most of the fish are probably, if they're not underneath grass due to the weather, they are out in the middle of the ponds. And boy, are they doing some craziness. And then we talk about my favorite worm, which is a wacky worm. If anybody knows anything about me when it comes to worm fishing, I'm always gonna throw a wacky worm. I've actually absolutely fell in love with Rapallo's Crush Cities Customs. They do one called a pig stick, and that's their wacky worm, and that's what this is here. This is, it used to be Yamasenko's Fat Senko that did Tilapia Magic, which was my favorite color. It is still my favorite color on the worm. However, Yamasenko was my favorite worm to use. That is no longer the case, unfortunately. It is now Crush City's pig stick. I absolutely love how these things bounce. As you can see, it's exactly how it bounces on the wacky rig and bass love it. That color there is Tilapia Magic. They also make a bubblegum color, which I have a pack or two of those. When I say I love wacky rigs, I love wacky rigs. It's just one of my personal favorites. So number 3 would be some sort of worm, whether it's Texas rig, wacky rig, shaky head, weightless, whatever, some sort of worm. Number 4 is also another good one for me that I like. Number 4 is some sort of swim bait. Now, when I say swim bait, I'm not just sticking into one particular brand or one particular category. Good buddy of mine, Marcus Terry, he got what he liked to call a Marcus Terry rig. His Marcus Terry rig is basically a 3/8 to ½ ounce jig head with a 3/0 to 4/0 hook on it, and a Crush City Mayor as his swim bait. I've seen plenty of videos that he's done. I've seen plenty of photos he's done, and he kills them on this. For me, I love the Mayors myself, and I use these with the 6 cents line through swim bait heads, and then I put a treble hook on the back, and I call that my Mad Dangerous rig. Great little rig to use. It's absolutely a killer. You put a number 2 treble hook on the back with the line through, and you can throw that puppy everywhere. However, as much as I love Crush Cities, they have not been my favorite bait. My favorite swim baits now are made by another company out of, I think it's North Carolina. I'm pretty sure it's North Carolina. I think it's North Carolina. Yeah, it is. It's North Carolina. And that is Biz Baits. These jokers here, woo-wee Jesus. These are the bee's knees. Now, it's 2 things I love about Biz Bait joints is that number 1, they make them in 2 different sizes. You got the 4 ounce, you got the 4 inch, and then they make a 3.5 or a 3. No, it's a 3.25, I think is what it is. And they have some crazy color combinations that you would not think of. This is, I think this is Sexy Shad. Yep, this is Sexy Shad. I have the Tennessee Shad. I have the Albino Shad. I have the Pro Blue. I have the Pro's Choice. I have the Sexy Shad. I have the Gizzard Shad. I have the Albino, the Pearl. They make all kinds of colors. I love them. The one thing that I love about these more than anything is that even though they are salted, they're scented. So when I say these puppies got that garlic shit on them, I ain't even got to open the package all the way. Trust me when I say it, they smell like straight garlic. If a vampire fish was in the water, this would kill it. It's just how much garlic they got. Another one of my favorite swim baits to use if I'm going to use something, especially if I want to downsize, that is always a good old-fashioned Damiki. This is the Fat Armor Shad by Damiki. This is in, I think this is American Shad. Yep, American Shad. I have some in Gizzard, and I also use a Damiki rig when I do this. Some more different swim baits is that I've gotten to like a little bit now is the 6 cents flushes. This is Bluegill Magic. I use these on the back of chatter baits and on some spinner baits, and these things, they move through the water. And when I say things of that nature as far as swim baits, like I said, I'm not just saying certain things. You can do big paddle tails. You can do some of the things I love to throw at this time of the year too. Still is the Dark Sleeper and the Sleeper Gill. I throw both of these this time of the year. I mean, they're still swim baits. They're already pre-rigged and everything. This is a 3/4 ounce. This is a 1/2 ounce. I launch these and get bites on them. So, you know, just different things to try in them senses of swim baits. I think that was, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. On to number 5. And if you didn't think of what number 5 was, number 5 is a crankbait. Now, when it comes to crankbaits, you got several different companies that make them. One of my personal favorites is the 6 Cents Movement. This baby here has become a personal favorite of mine. It's a 5/8 ounce bait, so you can throw it really far. The great part about it is it only dives 1 to 3 feet. But when I say this sucker moves through the water, if you burn it, it moves through the water. And when you looking for a reaction bite, there is no better reaction bite from a 6 Cents Movement. Trust me when I say it, no better reaction bite. If you're going deeper in the water column, Duckett makes a really good BD12. This is a green gizzard shad, BD12. It weighs, I think it's a 3/4. Yep, it's 3/4. This little joker here will dive anywhere from 11 to, I think it's 11 to 13 or 11 to 14 feet. You're out there deep. And then if you want to go with something different than that, you always got the Rapala series with the DT series. My buddy Will and I will tell you more than anything, DT6, DT8, even a DT10 is always a staple this time of the year. This here is, I think this is Blue Shad. Yep, basically a blueback herring shad. Yeah, definite thing. Now, as an added bonus, since I said it was 5, it is also, I will say this, one of the things I like to throw as well in June. So I'm gonna add it as an extra bonus. If you know me, you know one thing about me. It's one bait I never put down all year long. I don't care what the conditions are. I don't care what everything is. I will always throw this bait. And that is a blade bait. I never put it down. It has proven to be the bait all year round. I can throw everything else I just showed you, but I'm definitely going to throw a blade bait this time of year. Because if they're not up close, I can launch a blade bait from the bank easily 100 feet and not even try to cast it. And it will go everywhere I need it to go. And I just jig it through the water or I reel it back. So those are my top 5 plus an extra 1 bait of the month. Thank you guys all again for watching my videos, subscribing, commenting, liking, everything. If y'all want to see any kind of other footage or any kind of other stuff with fishing, leave a like and leave a comment. I'm always down to open up for anything. Other than that, as always, guys, thank y'all for watching and have a mad rich day.